Stillborn series, A Journey of Suffering with Christ. When I was in the hospital after my uterus tore and my baby was born dead, I had a chaplain come up to me and she asked me how I was doing. And I told her about God's love and I told her about the testimonies and how I got to this point and how it was so divine. Even how I said, the next person that dies, I'm going to have access to them and resurrect them, and just how things lined up and how God had always ministered to me throughout my whole life. And as I did that, in the midst of this darkness and death, I realized that I'm not made for death. I'm made for life. When I went to go pick up Ezekiel Daniel Jackson's death certificate, see, I wanted to say birth certificate because that's just what I'm used to. This is my sixth baby. This is what I was made for. Um, but when I went to go pick up his death certificate and they didn't have it, I talked to the lady there and she asked me some details about like what kind of death it was. Like, was he born, then he died? And like, there's just logistics. And I started to tell her about him and I started to tell about how detailed God it was and how purposeful, how much purpose I see and how much purpose God reveals that he was trying to do and is still trying to do, I believe. And I couldn't help but just encourage her and get excited and full of joy about how good God is and how much he loves. And I even prayed for the security guard. And when I did, I realized me refreshing others, me watering others, as Proverbs says, like I myself was watered in that moment. I myself was made for encouragement. I was made for life giving and not death. And as I sat here after I buried my son and I went to the church who didn't know me, um, and I had to pump because I actually had been pumping for about a month for Ezekiel in faith. And then I just wanted to stop, not because I didn't believe, but just because it was too painful and I didn't feel like I had to. And now I'm full of milk, but I'm trying to wean, slowly so I don't hurt myself. So I still have to pump. And I was thinking, man, I guess when I'm at this conference, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom and pump and dump. And while I go there, another mother is pumping. It turns out she has a short supply. And I didn't know what was appropriate and what's not. I don't conform to the pattern of the world, not even here. But I was longing to give it to her. And I was like, and she knew about my son. We talked about our babies. We talked about the situation. We talked about God. And I just said, would you want this milk? I was just going to dump it. And she said, my son would love it. And it blessed me and encouraged me to give it to her. And I realized at that moment I was made for life, not death.